How's it going, guys? I'm Danny, and this week I'm doing an in the bag. Real quick, before you type a comment telling me how bad my form is, I've got a personal form critique that I'm just putting at the end of this. So I'm gonna start with my putters. I know lots of people ramble a lot in the bags, so I'm just gonna talk about this because I'm not gonna elaborate too much. Putters are putters. I like hard judges. The hard plastic doesn't have any give to them. They're nice and stable. Inside the circle, they fly straight. Outside the circle, they have a very predictable flight path for those longer putts. Driving putters. I cannot tell you enough about the Moonshine Warden. When you get them new, they start out a little bit like a shield, but as they get beat in, this thing is just a money disc. The fade gets to be later and later the more it gets beat in. So I can put this on any line, it's gonna hold it, it's not gonna turn, and it's gonna go very, very straight, and then it's gonna have a reliable fade at the end. So if I need a dead straight shot, I'm gonna put a little bit of ante on it, and it'll sort of pan out, and it's not gonna hold that ante too far. But if I need a big anhyzer, I can crank over on it, it's gonna hold it over there. So Moonshine Warden, amazing disc. Real quick, I always hold my disc at 3 o'clock on the stamp, and I throw this disc so much that it's actually discolored over here where I always grab it. So yeah, this is easily the most thrown disc in my bag besides my putting putters. The other like approach type disc I have is a Soft Justice. This thing sticks so well where it hits. Moving on from there, I have mid-ranges. I have, for my understable mid, I have this Glass Blown Open EMAC Truth. This is from right when they came out. Oh, it doesn't say Glass Blown Open anymore, does it? Anyway, right when they came out, I've had this in my bag. It's pretty beat up. It holds a really nice anhyzer line. It's really great in the woods. And the thing is, even if you don't throw it very hard, even if you just sort of baby it, it'll still have a really controllable flight path, even if you power it down. Moving up, I have two more EMAC Truths. This one is a Sparkle Lucid. This one is dead straight. If I need to throw a laser beam shot up to about 330 feet, this is the disc I'm doing it with. And then if I have a wooded shot that needs some good fade, I've got this Moonshine EMAC Truth. It's a Moonshine EMAC Truth that I dyed blue because I didn't like the boring moonshine color. Other mid I have is a Verdict. This Verdict is very, very important in my bag. The Verdict is very overstable, very, very good controllable flight, very accurate. If it's wide open and I really need to hit left to right landing zone, I will throw this disc on a hyzer because I've practiced that shot. I can nail this hyzer exactly where I want to with this disc. So moving on to fairways. My less stable fairway is the Escape. I'm not gonna call it an understable fairway. I used to have a Thief. I used to throw a Thief for a lot of hyzer flips and turnovers, but my beat up EMAC will pretty much do that and it'll fly just as far. So not having that stability hasn't really hurt me, so I've gone to an Escape for this shot. The Escape is one of my favorite discs ever. Such easy distance. If I have to throw a standstill and I'm trying to throw it as far as I can, I'm throwing the Escape. You don't have to throw it very hard. It's gonna go really, really far. And it turns, it'll hold a nice anhyzer, but if you hyzer flip it, it'll go very, very straight with a very late fade. It's a fantastic disc. Highly recommend the Escape. Now for my Felons, I have two Felons here. This one is beat up. This is my Salmon Felon. I got it signed by Ricky at the Nick Hyde Memorial this year, just because I wanted a little love on my Felon. This thing is very beat up. It's hyzer flips, it's big anhyzers, really touchy forehand shots. And then this is it used to be a white misprint Fusion Felon, but this one is now I've dyed it blue. And it's a little beat up, but I really like it for my sidearms. I've been working on my forehand. I've got a little bit more power on it now. I can get it out to about 350, and this is the disc that I throw for most of my forehands. It's not my farthest flying forehand disc, but this is what I throw for most of them. Moving on from Felons, I have Criminals. This is an addition for my bag last time. I tried to keep with just Felons and I had a fluid Felon that was really overstable, but it wasn't coming out of my hand correctly for a backhand. And so I tried the Criminal, and it's an amazing disc. This is probably my second most thrown disc. This is a first run Lucid Criminal. This one is a little bit beat up, so it doesn't turn, it doesn't like flip, but it glides pretty straight before it fades. This is a go-to forehand disc. If it's any wind at all, where I would normally throw my Verdict, I throw this disc. Lucid Criminal's great. And then as a more overstable Criminal, I have a brand new Lucid Criminal with the Whale Pants stamp on it. I wasn't gonna add another Criminal, but I really want to support Eric and Tina on what they're doing. I love what they're doing out there on the road. Lucid Criminal, this one's a little bit more overstable, a little bit more reliable. So that is all I have for fairway drivers. Moving on to distance drivers. The first two I have are sort of tailwind drivers or lower power drivers. If I'm not throwing it as absolutely hard as I can, I'm playing more of a placement shot or a roller. That's what I throw. This is my Renegade. One of my friends, I was boring white, so I had one of my friends draw all over it with a Sharpie. And I think it looks pretty cool because the line is like rolling on the ground, whatever. Anyway, it's a Renegade. I like to roll this disc. It flies really good on a roller. And then I have a Trespass. A Trespass is one of my favorite discs ever. This is so controllable, so far flying, tons of glide. Again, easy distance. It's like a longer Escape. It goes really, really far and handles power really well. And now we have arrived at my Defenders. I have 6 Defenders in my bag. 4 of them are bio and 2 are lucid. So from least stable to most stable, this is my beat up pink Biofusion Defender. This one is my bomber. If I'm trying to throw a disc as far as I can, I'm throwing this disc. This one will flip over, glide to the right. It still has a good fade on it. Lots of glide, lots of distance. I really like this disc. It handles power very well. Next in stability is actually probably this white lucid one. I've had this one as long as I've had that yellow EMAC. This one I've had since they came out at the GBO 2 years ago. It's got a little bit of turn, it's got a good bit of fade, it's relatively straight flying overall, but this one's more in my bag just out of sentimental value. I probably should just take it out and hang it up because I have one that's new from that time too. It'd be cool to see them side by side, but I really, really like this disc. Anyway, moving on from there, the next in stability is a orange bio Defender with the team stamp on it. I really like this disc. It's really, really comfortable in the hand. It's almost as understable as the pink one, but it's very controllable. I can trust it in a headwind. I can throw big hyzers with it. I can throw anhyzers if I need to that are gonna sort of pan out and fade. This is a very, very controllable disc. This one is pretty much a brand new Bio Defender, but it's got a little bit of turn on it if you throw it hard and a little bit of fade on it. It's really far flying, but it's just more overstable, so a little bit more reliable. This blue Bio Defender is the most overstable Bio Defender I have. It's a good controlled hyzer disc, a little bit more distance than my Lucid Defender, and this one, it's a good disc. It'll have a little bit of turn if I throw it in a headwind, but other than that, it's pretty straight. And then this Lucid Defender is my overstable one. This is one of those sparkle Lucid Defenders. This one is very overstable, but it's in a headwind, it will actually turn. So if it's really, really windy out, I have a fluid enforcer that I keep in my car that I will put in my bag for those really headwind shots. But most of the time, I can control my angle and my nose on this disc well enough to get it to fly how I need it to. That's all I've got for you this week, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in my bag. Let me know any spots you think I need filled or any discs that you think could fill that slot. And let me know if you have any ideas for next week's video. If you're on Facebook, make sure you check out my YouTube page. And other than that, remember, slow is smooth and smooth is far. No, I was watching for cars. You're A-okay.
I'm so sorry you had to run like that.
No, you're fine. Okay. All right, guys. So since every video I post of me throwing has about 5 or 6 comments that people telling me what I need to fix on my form, I figured I would go ahead and save people the trouble and tell everybody what I'm doing wrong ahead of time. So coming into the shot here, my personal form critique here, I'm taking a little bit big of an X step here. You can see my hips start to turn a little bit early. That's not ideal. I should delay that. I should keep those feet a little bit tighter on the X step there. The other point I have here is my reach back is early. See, my reach back peaks here, but my front foot hasn't hit the ground yet. See that? I need to trim that up a little bit. See, that causes my reach back to leak up high here rather than being able to stay low. So if I could delay that reach back and time it a little bit better, my reach back would be a lot more consistent. I could add a little bit better nose down. Ooh, I just noticed I have the Josh Anthon thumb, where I lift my thumb off and then put it down right as I'm throwing. I didn't notice that. Cool. Anyway, for my pull, I don't quite have my hand correctly on the outside of the disc as I'm pulling it. Like, it starts on the front, flips to the outside, and then comes through correctly. So if I could get my hand a little bit better on the outside, setting it up correctly with the reach back, I've been doing a lot better. Also, I'm still reaching slightly across my body here. If I could reach a little bit more to my right, I would set myself up better. But my release is clean, my follow-through is on plane. The disc is actually flying nose down, unlike most of the time in all my other videos. But I've got this one set up okay. My reach back starts out on an anhyzer, but I set it to that flat angle pretty quickly. A little bit of undulation here in the disc is caused from the reaching across my body and getting my hand on the front to the outside to the front thing. So I've got to work on that some. But other than that, my footwork looks okay. Besides the big X step, I've got a good weight shift here, transferring onto my brace foot, and I'm not carrying past it. That's good. This shot probably went about 430, maybe 450. It's pretty far across that field, and I crushed it pretty good. But yeah, this was the best throw I had, so obviously I'm going to critique that one. You can see my left arm is tight to my torso, but I'm just reaching a little bit across my body and getting my hand on the front of the disc and reaching back early. So there you go, saved you the trouble. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.